In this video, I will be explaining how to write a basic summary using somebody wanted but so then. A summary is a short outline or recap of the important events in a story or chapter. Following somebody wanted but so then will help you to remember to include key details like main characters, conflicts, and resolutions that should be mentioned in a summary. Each letter stands for an important detail in the summary. You can ask yourself the following questions in order to make sure you've included it all. S stands for somebody. Who is the main character or characters? W stands for wanted. What did the character want or need? B stands for but. But what is preventing the character from getting what they wanted or needed? S stands for so. So how did the character try to solve the problem? T stands for then. Then what happened in the end? We are going to take a closer look at how to use somebody wanted but so then by summarizing the story of King Midas. Listen carefully for characters, conflict, and events while I read it to you. King Midas loved gold more than anything. When the god Dionysus said he would grant Midas one wish, Midas asked for the golden touch. Anything his hand would touch would turn to pure gold. King Midas loved his new powers until he tried to eat his dinner. Suddenly, everything he grabbed turned to gold and he could not eat it. Midas realized that his magic power was actually a curse. He begged Dionysus to take away his golden touch. Dionysus told Midas to wash his hands in the river. Midas did as he was told, and the magic was washed away. King Midas rejoiced now that his hands were as they were before. Step 1 is to figure out who the main character is. Sometimes there can be more than one. You want to make sure you include some detail about the character. For example, you don't want to simply say the main character is King Midas. While that's true, you should explain who he is so that whoever reads your summary can have a better understanding of the character. Step 2 is to figure out what the character wants or needs. Maybe your character needs to find shelter in a storm, or maybe they want to go to a party. In our example, King Midas wants everything he touches to turn to gold. So you can see here that for our somebody, we included a very important detail about Midas and his personality. I chose to mention that he loves gold because that affects the whole story. We also included the W for what Midas wants. When Dionysus gave him one wish, Midas wanted the power to turn anything he touched to gold. Step 3 is one of the most important steps. Every story has a conflict or problem. That's what makes it interesting. So for the but what's the problem, you need to be able to explain what is preventing the character from getting what they want or need. Or did something happen that is causing an issue for a character, like with our King Midas? Step 4 can be a little tricky because the character might try to fix their problem in more than one way. Sometimes what they try to do won't work. Therefore, it's important to remember that you can add more so's to your somebody wanted but so then summary. The final step is to now wrap it up. How does the story end? Does the character get what they wanted or needed? If they didn't, did they at least learn something or change in any way? You want to finish off the summary with any last details that tell us what happened to the character. Now for our summary, you can see that Midas made a problem for himself when he wished for the golden touch. He wanted all the gold, but then he realized it was a bad idea when his food turned to solid gold. So, how does he try to solve his problem? Well, that's easy. He admits his mistake and begs Dionysus to take away the magic. Luckily for Midas, the god Dionysus listens and agrees. And we can now end our summary by explaining what happens. Then, Dionysus reversed the wish, and King Midas was grateful for the normal life he had. To recap, if you're struggling to write a summary, consider using somebody wanted but so then. If you follow each step and ask yourself, Who is the main character? What do they want or need? But what is the problem they're facing? So, how do they solve the problem? And then what happens in the end? You should feel confident that your summary is strong and full of all the most important details of the story.